Hello, everyone. This is Joe Gakaskis of the Awaken Starseed Psychics Spiritual Light Warriors support group, and I just want to welcome everyone to this particular broadcast. I normally don't broadcast anymore on Fridays. I changed the schedule now to Sundays and Sundays at noon and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. But I wanted to hop on because there was an interesting kind of conversation happening in the group. And hi, Christina, how you doing? There's an interesting conversation going on in the group that I just wanted to address that I didn't think could wait till later, and I figure, why not just go ahead and address this now rather than wait. Okay, so what I'd like to just share with everyone, first of all, just the post, right, that I saw on the group, and I'll just read this here. The post, and I won't name the user because I want to keep that just kind of private since these videos are public here. I have encountered a spirit that refuses to show me anything about it. It's also refusing to leave when I demand it to. I'm waking up feeling like someone is watching me. I've never encountered this problem before. I can normally shield and block, but this particular spirit isn't budging. Any suggestions? So, when I saw that post, at first, I went ahead and put my response, right? And my response to that is this, everyone. No matter what spirit that you might be encountering, no matter what being, no matter what entity. Hi, Lynn. Welcome. Glad you're here. In relation to the world of spirit, what y'all have to remember, all right, is that you are all senior. You have the body. All right. So, when this user asked this question, there's this underlying energy. All right. Do y'all get that? There's this underlying energy of I can't control it. Or said another way, these beings, these spirits have control. Do you get that? And, coming from the world of who we are as a spirit, when you really take a look at who you are as a spirit, you're a bright, shining light. And your light is so bright that any of these negative entities, any of these negative beings, they vibrate a lot slower. Okay. And that's why I'd say, for example, you go to like a haunted house or something and you could just feel the denseness of the energy. But what if you were to be in the midst of this dense energy and instead just shine your light as brightly as possible? Just be who you are as this bright light. Well, guess what? In your light, these beings, they just can't be in your presence. Do you get that? And so, I just want to take it a step further that, another thing that I responded to with this member is that your body is your temple. All right. Hey, Beth, great to see you. Janelle, hi, Matthew, hi. So yeah, for those of you that just joined, thanks for joining. And I was just in the middle of talking about a post, and I'll just go ahead and repeat what I just said since many of you are just joining. A post from one of the users said, I have encountered a spirit that refuses to show me anything about it. It's also refusing to leave when I demand it. Right. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. This is an off-schedule broadcast, so I wasn't planning on broadcasting today, but I really felt that this particular topic was important. So I'm like, yeah, let me just go ahead and hop on and let me just share my thoughts on this. And so, one of the things that I mentioned as well in responding to this member's post is that your body is your temple. Do y'all get that? Right. And, you might have friends, right? I know, I'm a Filipino, and in many Asian households, it's like before you enter my home, you need to take off your shoes, right? So talking about having ownership of your home, your temple, It's very similar. That's a very similar thing. So that when you start encountering these beings, these spirits, these entities, these negative, whatever, right? Like I mentioned earlier, because you are a bright light, you are. So any of these negative beings, any of these negative entities, when you tell them, say, hey, if you're going to work with me, if you want to communicate with me, if you want to at all, right? And there are many mediums out there, right? And one other member asked the question, what is a medium? Well, a medium is simply, when you allow spirit to come in and they could use your voice box. I know many mediums that they don't even remember what happened when spirit came through. But there's a level of seniority, all right? And in my book, I mentioned this vibration of seniority. And all seniority is, everyone, is that you get to say, it's your body, it's your temple. You are in control, not the being. Now, one other member, I forgot the name, and poor thing, I guess she's experiencing a lot of trouble herself with these beings, right? She goes, that's great that you said that, but even though I set the rules, it doesn't always work, right? So how many of you are encountering that yourself, right? You tell these beings to go away. You say, no, I don't want you in. I don't want you in. Well, I had a client one time, and I remember when I first met her, right? She called me on the phone and she's like, Joe, they just won't leave me alone. They just won't leave me alone. Right. And I remember I just worked with her, and I led her through a meditation, and it was so funny. At least for me, it was funny, right? But for her, it was pretty scary because, I led her through this meditation called owning the room, right? So in the physical room, you own that space, right? And I remember when I first started working with her, and this was all over the phone, right? And I remember her saying, she goes, Joe, the door is moving, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. The door is moving. All that means is that these beings, these spirits, they're like, oh, crap. Look, someone that's more senior, someone that owns their space, that knows what they're doing, is encroaching on our space, right? But me being really neutral, recognizing my own power, recognizing my own seniority, I told the girl I was working with, I'm like, hey, don't worry about that. That's not what we're up to. When you give attention to these beings, guess what? That's what they thrive on. Do you get it? So here I'm saying, no, we're not paying attention to those beings, right? Instead, I'm going to lead you through this meditation. Go ahead and focus. And so part of the meditation was, I had her just meditate, close her eyes for a moment, and the door was still moving and whatever, right? I said, imagine all the walls being at gold. Okay. And then imagine your ceiling at gold as well. And just, create this as your psychic boundaries. And it's all symbolic. Yes, it's all your imagination, but isn't your imagination energy anyway? Right? So there she was. I just had her do that really simple thing. Imagine your walls at gold. And I told her, give a hello to any beings or spirits that are in there right now. And what I want you to do is, from a place of seniority, go ahead and imagine these beings being on the other side of the gold walls, right? So have it be that your room, your space is your sanctuary. And it was so funny because I remember her got silent. She just got silent all of a sudden. And I go, hey, what's going on there? Because again, this was all by phone. And she said, Joe, it got quiet. Right. And for her, it was the first time it got quiet in such a long time that it was jarring for her, because she was so used to these beings and these spirits just coming at her all the time, because she was this open door. She was such an open channel. But here we did this simple meditation of creating psychic boundaries. And y'all can listen to the recording of this if you have challenges with this. Right. Lynn says, happens most when I'm in and out of town and not paying attention to my space or my openness. That's very true, Lynn, right? So here I am saying, okay, yeah, if you're this open channel, but now you've created these psychic boundaries, guess what? That is the act of seniority that I'm talking about. right? Now I want to take it a step further, right? Because that one person in the group that responded, well, that doesn't always work. Do y'all get the vibration of that, right? What vibration is that? Oh, it doesn't work. What is that? That's the energy of doubt, you all. You get that? That's the energy of fear. That's the energy of I don't know, unenlightenment, whatever, however you want to term it, right? What I want y'all to get is that energy of doubt, fear, uncertainty, that's what those negative beings feed on. That's what they thrive on. All right. So that whole statement of it doesn't work, right? And I'm not trying to, like put down anyone because I know the challenge is real. It's really real. Yeah, Lynn is saying, yeah, that energy is really low. Well, guess what? If there's a being out there that sees that energy, guess what? It's that platform. That's what those beings come in on, right? Have you all seen that TV show Psychic Kids? I think it's on cable or HBO. It's like an older TV show. But anyway, those psychic kids, right? They grow up, they're really super open. And what ends up happening is that they're so open that when the beings first come in, they look at these beings and they get scared, right? And then what ends up happening is because they're in that energy, that vibration of fear in their space, guess what starts to come around? All these kind of negative beings, these negative entities. But part of the training, and they don't really show this on the show, but part of what the teacher does is that they help these kids learn how to raise their vibration, raise their energy, right? So it's less about getting rid of the beings. It's more about managing their own space. Do y'all get that? So now here I am saying that who you are is already a bright, shining light. And so when you really honor your own light, these beings will be like, when you start to get to that point, these beings will be like, oh, okay, well, that person no longer is providing a platform energetically for us. We're going to move on to someone else now. And, really what happens is these beings, they just leave. They don't want to get in your space anymore because you're just not vibrating in that way. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to leave you all with that it's really more of a vibrational choice. Okay. You really do have a choice. And yes, some of these beings are challenging, and some of you are it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, just raise your vibration, but that's not always the reality, is it? And I get that. I totally get that. Okay. So anyway, what I want to leave you all with that is if you do have these challenges and you do need some extra assistance, by all means, reach out for a reading with me, right? Because that's what I do. I help people with their energy challenges. I help people with their just getting to look at things from a different perspective. Okay. And talking about different perspective, actually, I want to share this one last picture with you that, when you're creating a sculpture, right? And say you're creating a sculpture from granite. Well, you might need a sledgehammer at first, right? To get that big piece of granite out of the earth, right? Out of the side of the mountain or whatever. But when it comes to you actually creating that sculpture, are you going to use that same sledgehammer? It's like, no, you're not. You're going to use more of a fine instrument of some sort. And when I see people trying to work with beings and work with their psychic abilities and developing their abilities, many people are trying to sledgehammer their way through waking up their psychic abilities, but it doesn't work that way, everyone. Do you get that? It just doesn't work that way. Okay, so here I am saying, what if you were to just raise your vibration rather than try to sledgehammer your way out of sledgehammering these beings away, right? Because it doesn't work. That's all coming from a place of fear. That's all coming from a place of doubt. That's a whole other vibration. Okay. So anyway, if you do want to, I'm going to put my website up here real quick. If you do want to if you need help, right? Like, don't just sit there and suffer. Like, reach out to someone. And if you want to reach out to me, fine. If you don't want to reach out to me, that's fine too. But, for those of you that do, my website is www.trueinsights.net/readings. And for everyone watching, if you want to set an appointment with me, I have 3 offerings, and I'm offering this coupon, Awake. So when you make the appointment on this site, just type in Awake and you get 10% off the reading, right? So I'm giving y'all 10% off because, some people just would rather suffer. I'm like, stop suffering. That's a low vibration. That's the vibration that some of these beings and entities come in. They come in on your suffering, right? You get that? And you get that you have a choice. You don't have to suffer, right? And sometimes you do need help. Sometimes you do need that extra assistance. And that's why I put this group together in the first place, because there are many struggling psychics that are awakening, just like you are, right? And you don't need to be alone. So this group is here to support you. I'm here to support you. So by all means, if you need a reading, reach out to me. And before I sign off, if anyone has a question or, has a comment, I'll hang on here for a little bit. You could just type in your comments there below. And, while I'm waiting there's like a 5-second delay before I actually see the comments come in. And while I'm waiting for the comments to come in, my website again is trueinsights.net/readings. If you want a reading, you could get 10% off. Just tap in the coupon code Awake. Okay, Lynn here saying, yes, I raised my vibration, but kept getting the feeling it wasn't working. But then I realized it was the spirit's energy and not mine. That is so true, Lynn, right? So good on you for having that level of awareness to know it's not yours, right? And that's what some of these beings like. They're like, they have no interest in you changing. So the minute that you start to change, it's like, hey, we don't like that. We like the old you. But you're not meant to just stay the old you. You're meant to change. You're meant to evolve. You're meant to grow spiritually, right? So you're not meant to just be stuck. Lynn continues, I was having a problem with discernment. Owning my space helped me to see that. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Lynn. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, raising your vibration, many people make it like this big thing, like, oh, I'm raising my vibration. But really, all raising your vibration means is just honoring your own light. Do y'all get that? You're just honoring your own light. And yeah, these beings, there's many even ascended masters and archangels, right, that are of a high light. Well, guess what? You're no different from these archangels and these ascended masters, right? You as a spirit are just as bright. Okay. Anyway, I just want to leave it at that. Like I said, this was an unplanned broadcast, and I'm sure, for those of you that are going to be watching this later, by all means, reach out to me, keep reaching out to the group. And I just wanted to put this out there very quickly. And anyway, thanks for those of you that did join on. Thanks for joining. I will see you in the group. Many blessings to you, and I will check you all out later. Okay. Bye-bye. Just kind of waiting for any last minute comments. All right, Christina's saying, thank you. You're so welcome. All right. Okay, everyone. I will check y'all out later. Bye-bye.